Sophia Mahmood is a Year 6 teacher at Briarfield Walter Street Primary School in Nelson, Lancashire.
All right, make sure you're reaching all your lunch.
As a single mum to 8-year-old Hassan, she's found that the full-time roles of teacher and parent leave her with no time to just be Sophia.
I decided to contact Teachers TV for help because I realised that if anybody needed advice in getting a life-work balance, then it would be me. I would be the ideal candidate for that. This was not a pleasant sight. The time I spend with Hassan is the only life balance I do have because I totally commit myself to him. But apart from that, there is no work-life balance. Everything is work, work, work.
During the week, Sophia, like many teachers, follows the same routine.
You're all the way up here. 6. If I had more spare time, I'd like to ski more, swim more, use my gym more, and I'd also like to read more. I'd like to pick up a book, start it and finish it.
Well, Sophia, today's your lucky day because Teachers TV is sending its very own life coach, Gladina McMahon.
I'm hoping that she'll be able to give me some ideas, some clues as to how I can still prepare my lessons, deliver my lessons in a way in which I'm satisfied with them, not feel the guilt of spending too little a time preparing them and still get the same level of job satisfaction.
Sophia's prayers are about to be answered as Gladina arrives at the school.
It's Gladina.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Gladina McMahon.
Sophia Mahmood, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, Sophia, tell me, how can I help?
I'm looking for advice in the sense that I feel that I work excessive hours. I work extremely hard because I feel a real commitment towards school, towards the children. I do feel that I put in sometimes too much effort, but I'm of the nature where I like to know that my lessons are planned properly, and when you've got 4 or 5 lessons in a day, I do tend to put a lot of preparation time into each and every one of those lessons because I really don't want to be caught out at any point by a child being unable to answer the questions. I feel that sometimes I don't give myself enough time, and I would like your advice into how I could learn to cut off from school and stop and think about myself rather than feel such an obligation and a commitment to the school and the children.
It sounds like there's 2 parts in that driving, that one part of it is like a desire to make sure that the kids get the kind of teaching you want them to have and kind of get that really sort of, you know, that enjoying, if you like, learning. But there also sounds like another part where you haven't quite worked out when enough is enough.
That's right, yes. Because I love my job and I like to think that I do the best for those children, and they go on and achieve the best that they can in their lives. Otherwise I'm in the wrong profession.
So if we had a magic wand and we could give you some more time, what would you actually do with this time?
I'd like to have the opportunity to socialise more. I sometimes don't contact my friends as often as I should. And I'll be in the danger of losing some very close friends. I'd love to have the opportunity to read more. I never really pick up a book and finish it because preparing for the lessons will take me late into the night. I've set up a gym at home to enable me to get fit, to exercise. But because I'm working throughout the evening, it just collects dust, basically, which is really rather sad.
You deserve a life.
Definitely. Yes, because I see everybody around me having one, and I sometimes wonder how they manage it, and I don't.
Is that how you've always been, giving 110% all the time?
When I think back, yes, I have been. I've always done a lot with myself, but then since having Hassan and being housebound in that respect, I try it and do things at home, but I always let school take over.
If we sort of project forward, say 15 or 20 years, what do you think is going to be the downside of going on the way that you are?
I'm going to probably feel that I've wasted a lot of time because I didn't have, or because I never sat back and reflected on how I could find those shortcuts.
So it sounds like there's a lot of reason for you to, shall we say, take yourself in hand.
Yes, definitely, lots of reasons. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell me that you think is important?
Yeah, there is one thing, and maybe it's me being naive, but I always had the impression, I was brought up to believe that if you work hard, you will be rewarded. And I feel that for all my efforts, I'm not rewarded. And I've taken on steps to enhance myself within my career by taking a year out unpaid leave of absence to study for a master's degree, and still I'm waiting to reap the benefits. The school needs to provide me the opportunities now to move on with my career.
Okay.
After seeing all my achievements and all my hard work.
And how good are you at letting people know all of this?
Probably not as good as I should be. I'm not of the character where I like to boast about my successes.
Well, I think I need to go away and do a little bit of thinking, and I think we need to have another chat a bit later.
Okay. Yeah, I'd look forward to that.
It's time for a literacy class as Gladina observes Sophia at work.
What kind of texts are we looking at this week in literacy? Poetry. Give me of your bark, O birch tree, of your yellow bark, O birch tree, growing by the rushing river, tall and stately in the valley, like a yellow water lily. Now what I'd like you to do, reread that together and try and work out, first of all, how many syllables in each line. Out for each
How long did it take you to plan for this particular lesson?
I'd say from about 30 minutes to about 45 minutes. The bulk of that time was doing background reading, digesting it, feeling comfortable that I had enough subject knowledge to deliver the lesson.
And how often have you needed all that information?
Not often, to be honest. But I feel a sense of security if I've got it at hand. It's rare that somebody will ask a teacher a question that catches you out.
So what's the worst thing that could happen if you did?
I'd just ask the children to go home and find out. Yeah, and I would save myself a lot of work. Marianne, how many syllables per... Say that line again. Sorry.
Hi Sophia, are you still here?
I certainly am, yes.
Is this what it's like every night?
Almost, yes. Marking the books. I try not to take the books home because then I can spend time on the lesson preparations for the next day.
So is that's it for tonight, is it?
That's the pile, the numeracy pile. I'm just trying to complete the literacy pile of books, and then there's the science from today to do as well.
Oh, so just one or two things then?
Yeah.
As the minutes go by, Sophia diligently works and Hassan patiently waits. Finally, it's home time and chance for Gladina to watch Sophia at home.
5. Oh, Hassan! Oh no. You have to roll the dice, remember? You all ready for bed? Yes. Sleep time.
Do you know, it's wonderful when a plan comes together. I think I've actually worked out what Sophia needs to do. We've got to tackle those 3 areas that she came up with earlier. Time for me to go and get her. Well, Sophia, here we are, and it's been an interesting journey with you, watching what you do and listening to what you say. And we've come up with 3 areas that you've highlighted. The first area is as a teacher and being a good teacher, which you are. Now, you were talking about over-preparing because you're concerned that a student might ask you a question that you can't answer. However, when I said to you, how often does that happen? I think you were a little caught out.
That's true, I was, yeah.
So what I want to know is, time-wise, how much time per night do you put towards studying?
Monday to Friday, I would say at least 2 hours.
At least 2 hours, right.
Yes.
I would like you to get a little alarm clock. It's going to be cut to 1.5 hours.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And whatever is done in 1.5 hours will be good enough.
Right, yeah.
Now, the second area you spoke about was your career development and that you have had some disappointment and that it's kind of made you think about where you're going, the fact you always believed if you worked really hard and you did and you put a lot of hours in that really it hasn't paid back. And part of you's had this belief system that actually people should notice this. Sometimes we think that we ought to be noticed, but actually we become part of the woodwork.
Yes, I
Yeah,
understand.
and that's not meant to be unkind. It's just that we've been there a long time and everyone's used to us being a certain way. So what I want you to do is to devise a strategy for yourself where you will go and speak to the key people that you have identified as being those who can assist you with your thinking about how to move on.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
And there's one thought I want to leave you with also on that area, not for now, but maybe for the future. And that is a lot of teachers, I think, sometimes get very comfortable in a school. However, sometimes there comes a point where, you know, we have to think about the future and possibly, is it or is it not moving towards management somewhere else?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm just thinking about you in this fantastic school, because it is a lovely school.
Yeah, it is.
Talking to some of the key people about your development,
Okay.
because they're not mind readers.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Now the third area was get life.
Okay.
Yeah, because you haven't got one at the moment.
No, not really.
Now we have half an hour shaved off each day. Okay, so if we've got that half hour, you need to promise me you're going to do something only for you in that half an hour.
Okay.
How feasible do those 3 areas sound to you?
They seem like goals that I can achieve. Yes. Yeah. Having the timer would definitely help. Normally, if I'm doing my work in front of the TV, I often tell myself I'll wait till the end of this program, but then it runs into the next program and so on and so forth. But if there is a timer that goes off after 1.5 hours, I think that will help me. I will find it difficult to get into those routines because I've been in the other routines for such a long time.
It takes a minimum of 21 days of repeated action every day just to begin to lay down a neural pathway in your brain that's like a fledgling habit, so that it starts to become more like an automatic pilot. So you're absolutely right about that. But I'd like to throw something in. If you feel panicky, and you may do because you have some very strong a very strong thinking style about doing your best and getting everything done and that. And what I want you to do is, do you remember that image that I asked you to think about, which was if in 15 or 20 years' time, you know, what could be happening? Well, although that's a negative thought, can you use it as a positive reinforcer?
I think I will be doing, yes. Some of the things that you've said, some advice that you've given have really hit a nerve today.
Because you know, Sophia, you are fabulous. I have enjoyed watching you. I really, really admire what you do, and it's obvious when you're with the kids how much you really enjoy and you want them to have the best, etc. But it's now time for their teacher to have some of the best.
Thank you.
Well, it really has been a pleasure. And do you know something? I can't wait to come back and see how you've managed to cope.
Well, I can't wait for you to come back, and I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully you'll see big changes in me.
I really hope it, because you know something? You're worth it.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Great. Okay, take care. See you soon.
And you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, last year we saw Emma Thomas, who's a science teacher, and she had no time whatsoever to play her viola. In fact, her main problem was she couldn't say no, and she just took on more work than she needed to do. Well, let me give you a reminder.
Emma Thomas, a science teacher from Stratton Upper School in Bedfordshire, was finding it hard to balance school life with being a single mum.
Can I lean on the door?
Emma had a hectic schedule, with her daughter and schoolwork, leaving her exhausted. So Emma asked Ease the Load to help her find some time for the things she enjoys, like her viola.
Hi Emma, I'm Gladina. Nice to meet you. Oh, lovely, thank you.
We sent Gladina to spend a day with Emma to observe her home life, as well as the time she spends in school.
Don't talk while I'm talking.
What Gladina found left her concerned for Emma's health and well-being.
So have you ever been overtired or made yourself unwell?
Yes, I had a period about 18 months, 2 years ago, when I had to have 2 weeks off through a viral infection that was brought on through exhaustion.
So in which case we're looking at a number of things for you to do. The first is I actually want you to go away.
Gladina asked Emma to create a timetable of her life, to block off all her spare time and allocate a third of it for herself. Secondly, Gladina felt that Emma was taking on too much work and wanted her to consider whether she could take on a task before saying yes.
All right, keep it up.
1 year later, and will Emma still be making time for herself?
Well, I've been told Emma's in the music department, and from what I can hear, I think she's been practicing. That sounds good. Let me go and see her. Hi, Emma.
Hi, nice to see you again.
Oh, nice to see you practicing.
Yeah, I'm just getting some practice. We've got the school concert tomorrow night, so should we go and talk in the staff?
Yeah, let's go. So, tell me, how did the strategies work that we devised for you last time?
Really well. Yeah, I've taken on a few extra tasks, but they're ones that I've really wanted to do that have helped my personal development. I've said no. I've had things that aren't my job. I've turned around and said no because I simply don't have time to do them, and I'd rather concentrate on the things that I'd like to do.
So specifically, I mean, for example, we talked about you actually setting up a timetable. How did that work?
Sometimes it's better than others. I mean, I have the timetable up, so when I do have a free period or a planning time, I always know what I should be doing in it. I mean, with teaching, there's always something that comes up, so sometimes I can't stick to it. But most of the time it is, and it means that I know what I'm doing and I'm not left at the end of school thinking, oh, I've got to do this at home.
And making time for yourself, because we were talking about that, weren't we?
Yes, I've done my grade 1 viola, which I passed and got a merit, and I don't think I would have done if I hadn't made sure I had that time to practice. But it also means that every now and then I can sit down and watch telly, which is really nice, yeah, because I actually know what the kids are talking about during the day now sometimes.
So it's allowed you what I call some slob time.
Yes.
Yeah? And you really needed that, because, I mean, you didn't have any of that before.
No, it's made a difference. I'm sleeping better as well, because I'm not finishing working and trying to go straight to bed.
So if you had some challenges now, say, because that sounds like you've got on top of a number of aspects, what might they be?
I'm doing a couple of personal development courses, which is obviously going to need time. I need to submit a portfolio for that. But because I know what time I have free, it means that I can quite easily plan to put that in without putting too much extra pressure on and without actually having to give up the time that I've put away for myself. I think I've passed some of the ideas on to some other staff as well. Some other people in the department have had a look at it and thought, oh, that's a really good idea. So hopefully it's helped some other people as well.
Well, it sounds, Emma, as if you're doing really, really well. So what can I say except, you know, except Miss can have a gold star. So from one perfectionist who's trying to juggle the demands of being a perfectionist and a mum to another.
It's been a week now since Gladina's visit, and after speaking with her, I thought I'd be able to put into practice all the advice that she had given. Sadly, I've not been able to do any of that, and I suppose it's down to me being used to working such long hours every evening. I'm going to keep trying, however, because I'm determined to put into practice all that Gladina had advised me to do so. My friend Jane has bought me this wonderful timer so that I can reduce my working hours. So I'm going to go now and see if I can put this timer to the test. It's been a couple of weeks now since I've been using the timer, and I'm really pleased with the results. It's amazing how something so small can be so effective in helping me reduce the number of hours I work in the evenings. But what's really important is that I'm really happy with the quality of lessons I'm delivering. Since Gladina's visit, I've had a couple of meetings with the head teacher now in terms of career development. Both meetings have been very fruitful, and tomorrow I'll be meeting with the school advisor to see what information and advice he has to offer. So I better go and prepare my notes. It's 9 o'clock now. I've done 1 hour of schoolwork, which is really good for me. It's time for me now to pick up a really good book and enjoy it. I've been reading Tess for a few weeks now, and in the past, for one reason or another, haven't been able to get past chapter 2. But this time, because I've been really making an effort, I'm halfway through. I'm really enjoying it, so I'm going to carry on reading it.
Two months down the line and Gladina's back in Nelson, Lancashire. Will Sophia have finished that book yet?
Hi Hassan, is Mummy in?
Yeah, she's upstairs in the gym.
Oh, lovely. Take me to her then. Hi.
Hello.
How well? Yeah, you're putting some effort in, aren't you?
I certainly am. I've just finished my workout. I'll just get changed.
Oh, right, we'll have a chat then.
Okay.
So Sophia, it's fantastic to see you again. But you know, I really want to know, how's it been since I was last here?
It's been absolutely fabulous. I took on board all the advice that you'd given me, which was really good. It took me some time to put that into practice, I must admit, because I suppose I'd been so set in my old routine for so many years. To break from that was quite a challenge. But step by step, I did try and implement it, and I think I've succeeded. Yeah. So I'm really pleased.
It's really what we call the big dream through the small step. So,
right.
Yeah? So
yeah.
The big dream is all these things that you really want to do, but to do it, you have to go back and build on each small step.
What I did find really helpful was the timer that my friend gave me. Unfortunately, that only ran for an hour. Then, instead of working for 1.5 hours, as you suggested, I only worked for the hour.
Fantastic.
And still I'm doing. And some evenings I'm not doing any work at all.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've done really well.
Tell me some more then about what's been going on.
Well, I've met with the head teacher a couple of times. Like you suggested, that I should go up to her, make an appointment, set out some time. So I have done that. We've discussed my career in terms of moving it on, and we've come up with the idea where I should shadow more senior members of staff to get a feel for their roles, their responsibilities, and then maybe assess from that if it's something that I would really like to do, which my inner feeling is that I will like to do it, but it'd be nice to be able to shadow them and get the experience that way. Plus I spoke to the school advisor, who gave me a whole number of options and suggested different routes in for promotion, which was really good advice too.
Now, I've really got to ask this question. On those evenings that you're not doing anything or you're finishing early, what are you then doing for yourself?
Lots of different things. I'm picking up the phone, ringing friends, catching up on the latest gossip. I'm reading more, which I'm really enjoying. When I'm watching the television, I'm not watching it with my work in front of me. I'm actually sitting back, relaxing and enjoying the film. I'm also taking long soaks and sometimes using the gym too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what can I say? Star pupil, I guess. And I think what you said earlier is very true. You know, change isn't something that comes easily. You just have to keep chipping away at it every day until it becomes more natural. But well done you.
I like it when my mum's happy because she is relaxed. My mum has a gym and she doesn't used to use it, now she does use it.
I think I have very much so achieved all that I wanted to achieve. I think this is very much going to be my routine now. I'm so enjoying all this free time that I have. I couldn't imagine going back and putting in over 2 hours a night of work, physically and mentally. I didn't realise how draining it was until now. You can still be happy with the work that you do even though you reduce your working hours, definitely so. And I'd recommend that schools provide teachers with timers.